Is this a grand new menu update?
Princess Bear, today we're at Disney's Grand Floridian Hotel, hence the Grand, because it's time for us to return to
the Grand Floridian Cafe.
Lots of grands,
but
it's a cafe, and as your number one choice of food and entertainment, we're here to try out the cafe items so you don't have to. Remember, she's vegan. I'm not. That looks like I could go swimming in that.
It's time to foodie and chill. Don't do that. These beautiful rolls are what I call the Hollywood Brown Derby rolls because they are from Hollywood Brown Derby, but you can get them plenty of other places too, like buffets, obviously here. And they give you earth-bound butter here, which I think is appropriate because this is a deluxe resort. And I feel like every restaurant at every deluxe resort should have earth balance. It's just part of the deluxe experience, is it not? Shout out to my dairy allergy peoples. Smallest of bites. I love this bread. I love this bread at all times. I love this bread in a bag. I love this bread on a table. I love this bread whenever I'm able. It is a Dr. Seuss bread. I love it. I will give it a 5 out of 5. It is a Princessities item and always better when there is earth balance.
Nice dinner rolls. We like a good roll. Now, this is their old bread service. They do have a new bread service, which is like a paid appetizer, which are plantain rolls, which we did inquire about. Unfortunately, they are made with a little bit of dairy in them, so the princess couldn't have them. I probably could, but there's also like 3 dips, one of which being a mango chutney. We'll just go with the old bread for now. I can't understand the delicate balance of how important a good bread service is to a meal. I want good bread, but I also don't want to fill up on said bread. But I want good bread to sort of get me to my appetizer and entree. Even if I'm not going to eat it all, I want good bread. I definitely want bad bread. And no bread always feels like I'm missing something. So we're on a good track. 3.75 out of 5 plus.
Another Yuca fry has joined the competition on Disney World for best Yuca fry. Now, there are not a lot of places that have Yuca, and I really thought that Disney was starting to get rid of them, but it looks like maybe they're not. Maybe they're expanding it a little bit. There's a beautiful avocado crema, there's a pico, and then there's a black bean. It's hard to pick one. I'm going to pick one of these top ones since it's all crema and all pretty. Grab some of this pico with some black beans, served on a very hot plate. I'm really curious to see how this compares to Disney's Caribbean Resort because their Yuca is amazing. That is very delicious, very flavorful, perfectly crisped. I don't really see much difference between this and Disney's Caribbean Resort options, so that's a good thing. I love that, and I'm gonna love this. I am gonna miss the crab cakes because I really loved those here. They were delicious, but this is nice. I would have liked them both together. Either way, I'll give this a 3.5 out of 5 Yuca. It is delicious. Don't get me wrong. It kind of feels more like a side to me, though, than an appetizer.
Nice, wonderful Yuca. All nice and sauced, that bed of black beans. Because you know what? I am happy and glad to see more Spanish influences on this menu because Hispanic culture is as much a part of Florida as the sun and the beach. There'd be no history without Spanish culture in this state, and it is as regular and accepted as, say, a shrimp and grits or key lime pie. Cheers. I love the crispiness of the Yuca, but I also love what that crema does for it with the beans, is it gives it a little, spark. Yuca on its own would have been great, but Yuca with the pico, the crema, and the beans is like a fancy top hat on top of a Yuca fry, and I approve. Especially in a place like Grand Floridian, because the flavor does feel, in fact, grand. I would give that 4 out of 5 plus. So Carnitas Tacos is an appetizer, a little duo of pork carnitas with some pickled cabbage, cilantro. There's some onions in here, and then you get this beautiful, deep-colored tomato salsa here on the side. You know, it is still Spanish and Latin American Heritage Month until the middle of October, and I have not forgotten that. We celebrate all cultures here. I do not mean this as shade, even though it will sound like that. It is that while I do enjoy Frontera Cucina at Disney Springs, have not had carnitas with that deep, smoky flavor as good as that is demonstrated for an appetizer. And I'm at Floridian Cafe at a place that I have not always been enthusiastically positive about dinner. That is amazing. Now, they do have a dinner portion of this that's not on the menu. Be nice to your server, and they may offer it to you, or you can ask nicely, but that tastes amazing. You like tacos? You like carnitas? You should definitely be ordering that. 4.75 out of 5 stars.
The Carnitas Tacos can also be made vegan with tofu, which I appreciate because I do not like the curry and I do not like the miso salmon. With the miso salmon, you can put broccolini too, which is cool, but I don't know. I just prefer something different. I wanted to try something different. I wasn't even sure if I was going to get an entree today, but I did because tofu tacos. They're nice and seasoned and cubed and charred with a beautiful tortilla. There's not a lot in here. Oh, there's some beans on the bottom too, I think. And this beautiful slaw. And then the salsa. This is gorgeous. And it looks delicious. I love it. I think it's amazing. I love the salsa with the cabbage. I think there's a little bit too much of the cilantro on there, but other than that, it's delicious. Our server was like, well, you can't put anything on the tofu if you make a taco. And I was like, I love tofu, it's fine. But like, they really kicked this tofu up. I was expecting like bland, cold tofu, and I got gorgeous, delicious, seasoned tofu with extras. Like, I can't ask for anything more. I would give this a 4.5 out of 5 tacos. I would say, this is hard. Okay, so number one vegan taco for me is still Three Bridges. Like, nothing is going to beat Three Bridges. Period. End of the story. I think I would rate these higher than Centertown Market. And I always had Centertown Market at either number one, or I shouldn't say Centertown Market. I should say Caribbean Beach, because at Caribbean they have the pinto bean tacos, and those are available at Centertown Market and Spyglass Grill, along with Yuca at Spyglass Grill. The Yuca is better at Spyglass, but I think the tacos are better here than Spyglass or Centertown at the Caribbean. So if you're gonna get tacos, if you're in the mood for tacos and you are vegan, my first choice would be Three Bridges. My second choice is now gonna be Floridian Cafe, and my third choice is gonna be Caribbean, which is Centertown Market / Spyglass. And I just want you to know that it's been 7 years. Is it 6 years? 7 years almost. And I've had Spyglass or Centertown up at the top until like 2021. And so it now moving down to the spot number 3 is sad for it, but these tacos deserve it. 5 out of 5. It is a Princess Cities item. Enjoy it. Love it. Live it. Learn it.
Tofu tacos were not on the menu, literally, for tonight, either on the menu itself or our plan for coming here to eat tonight, but we like a good surprise. Well-cooked tofu in any resort is a surprise, because look at the color on that tofu. The seasoning, the crispy edges. I love to find a place that can cook good tofu for the princess. You find some places that have tofu, and it's like a warm, damp soy slab. That's not a good look. Already, these are looking amazing. That's a very nice, well-cooked tofu. The herbs on it, a little bit of pepper as well. It gives a little bite. That tomato salsa goes really well with the tofu. If I have to rank this against the other vegan tacos that we prefer, I would say that Three Bridges, and specifically for me, Spyglass Grill. Now, I'm not going to say Caribbean because I have some issues with those pinto bean tacos specifically, but Spyglass Grill's tacos, I think, were better executed than when we got them in Centertown Market last time.
But it's the same tacos.
But I thought that Spyglass Grill was better executed. Now, that being said, they're still very, very good tacos. And just for me, they slotted at number 3 and not number 2. I would definitely eat these. But if you put these and then Spyglass Grill and Three Bridges in front of me, I'm going to eat them all. But these would just be last. I give these a 4.75 out of 5 claws. They have found a good home here at Grand Floridian Cafe, and I'm glad they're here to represent. So, I'm returning to the world of pork shanks. Grand Floridian Cafe, like I said earlier, has never really been a place where I've run to for dinner. It has been very hit and miss for us over the years. A lot of misses, a lot of bad misses. We've always recommended breakfast/brunch. Dinner has been sort of a harder sell, not necessarily because dinner is awful, but they have a really strong competition in this hotel between Citricos, Narcoossee's, and obviously Victoria and Albert's. The bar is high in this hotel, okay? So you judge them accordingly. But our server recommended this one. This is a pork shank with a Poblano and corn succotash, creamy cheesy polenta, and then a pork citrus jus on the outside here, and then this smattering of pickled onions that I absolutely do not want and or need on my pork. But I'm going to trust in the pork, not the force. I'm going to trust in the pork. Do I need a knife? I do not. Ooh. A little polenta, get a little of this jus. We're going to dive right in. It's already falling apart right on the fork. Okay. Pork shank, perfectly tender. The cheesy polenta is given an elevated southern cheesy grits. It goes very well with the pork. The corn and Poblano succotash, nice and smoky, has a good flavor. Now, when you get to the pork citrus jus, it's like somebody started or lit a sparkler on your taste buds, because at that point, the entire thing lights up. And it enhances the flavor of the pork, the succotash, and the polenta all at the same time. It gives me a flavor delight across my taste buds. We're doing the salsa on my tongue. If there was ever any sort of Florida classic dance, and there's not, it would be whatever's going on in my taste buds right now. Now, that being said, given the pork shanks I've had on this channel, it still does not beat the old sweet potato and pineapple pork shank that I had at the Maya when it existed a year and a half ago. That's been the bar, but this is excellent. The server recommended well. I would give that 4.5 out of 5 claws. You will absolutely not go wrong. And if you're craving a pork shank here at a place where getting a reservation is not really that hard, you will not go wrong with this one.
Rosé all day. Cheers. I always love it when the rosé happens to be vegan. I was hoping for House of Brown. They seem to have disappeared from everywhere except for the pool bars, which makes me sad. But I will still drink this rosé. I like it. It's bright, it's fresh, it's delicious. It's a 3 out of 5 rosés.
Here at the Grand Floridian Cafe, we drink Floridian beers. Not always, but they have revamped their menu to add more local breweries. So you have this Orange Blossom Pilsner, a honey Pilsner, out of Lakeland, which makes sense because there's a lot of breweries around Lakeland, Plant City area. I have had this before at Epcot somewhere, but I'm always willing to try things a second or third time. Now that is a deliciously light Pilsner. It's very crisp. It is a honey Pilsner, but it's a very light honey Pilsner. So obviously not vegan. The Princess doesn't usually like Pilsners like that anyway. But it feels very of the Florida. I could tolerate a couple more of those. Maybe a case for the house. I haven't bought beer for the house in a while. 3.5 out of 5 plus.
This dessert is the apple streusel. It's been here for a while. Last time we came here, they had this version as well, but we had just had apple streusel from Turf Club, so we didn't get it. So this time we're getting it because we haven't been to Turf Club in forever. They also still have apple, so we go with this beautiful kind of melty bite. There's like a whipped cream and a gelato with the apple and some crumble. I just want you guys to know that this dish sat for a minute because Bear had to take videos and photos and, you know, get all the things prepared for like the social media posts, plus, you know, those lovely slow-mo shots you see before we review the food and like over us talking. That's all Bear. And it takes some time. He has to get the shots perfect and whatnot. Usually I'm okay with that. But this was so hot, even after Bear doing all of that and me stalling because I have some wine. It still burned my tongue. Like, it's really hot. Delicious, but hot. And the ice cream is fully melted at this point. That's how hot it is. I like it, but like the streusel piece, even though it said gluten-free, I feel like I'm tasting oatmeal. And I know the oatmeal that they do here is not gluten-free, so that's a little concerning. But other than that, it's not bad. I don't think I would order it again, though. It's not my jam. I've had plenty of different apple desserts that are vegan, and this is just not it. It's like a 3.25 out of 5 apple streusels. I don't think Snow White would make this for the Seven Dwarfs.
This Cobbler, the plant-based Cobbler, at this point, the number of years it's been here, I think we're going on like 4 years. This dessert has been here. 3 or 4. It's basically a seasonal dessert. 2 years? Been 2 years?
1 year.
1 year? That has been apple or that has been peach. Either way. It's basically a seasonal dessert. The fruit will change depending on what's in season. And I guess apple is one of the popular fall fruits. I don't know if it's the most popular fall fruit, but it's a fall fruit. So an apple strudel makes sort of sense. You have the plant-based gelato, you have the plant-based cream here, a little bit of that crumble on top, and deliciously spiced apples in a pot. I'm going to learn from the Princess's mistake. I'm going to blow on my food because I value my tongue. I think it walks that fine line with like super hot dessert served with cold ice cream or cold cream very well. You have a nice like crunch in the crumble separated in the two, but all together it's a delicious dessert. It's tasty, it's appley. I wish it was a bit fancier. I wish the dessert felt more like Florida because apple cobbler to me does not scream Florida. I could be wrong, but that screams like places with 4 seasons kind of dessert. I would give it a 3.75 out of 5 because you could do worse. You could also do better. What would you say about that being grand?
We've had, as Bear has mentioned throughout this video, we have had several pretty terrible experiences at Grand Floridian Cafe, and I think that it has like that Haleo feeling to it now, where like the server really makes the meals. Like if you have a really good server,
That's fair.
Your meal is
That's
amazing. Fair. And then if you have a server that just wants to serve you all of your dishes, appetizers, entrees all at the same time, and just kind of dump all your food on your table, that has happened too many times at Grand Floridian Cafe, I gotta say. But when you have a good server that plans things out, asks the right questions, you can have a magical time. And I really feel like that is what set this experience apart from like majority of our experiences. This is an outlier experience in my opinion.
One of the better experiences we've had here.
Yes.
Both food and service-wise. I like to see the things on this menu improve. I definitely want to see the plant-based options change a little bit. The curry's got to go. The curry just got to go.
Yeah, though I really love and appreciate the tacos. I feel like the yuca was a side. And I think that, like, if the tacos were there with the yuca and that was, like, all one dish, I would have really loved that.
Yes. And dessert, while good, also needs an update. But I want to know what you guys think. Grand Floridian Cafe, like we said earlier, does apply a very unique space within this resort. Given the amount of competition and culinary expertise that exists within this resort on its own. But we want to know what you think. So as always, let us know what you think in the comments below. If there's anything else you'd like to see us do, that will always be the place to find us. Hit the notification bell if you want to see other videos like this. And
we have new videos 5 days a week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. Woo!
we'll see you soon.
Be sure to subscribe and like this video. And if you don't comment, well, what is Bear going to do? Live at the Grand Californian? He's not that.
You know,
he's a Grand Floridian.
If I keep visiting, maybe the Californians will adopt me. The Canadians already adopted me.
No.
Maybe the Californians will.
You're a Florida man.
I've talked way too much trash.
Yeah.
But you're the girl.